everywhere.
Amazing. So cool. So cool. Well, I guess people will continue to trickle on. So why don't we go ahead and get started? So, all right, guys, today we're joined by Veronika from AppFollow. Very excited to have her here to give us a little bit of a workshop on how to maximize your app's ratings and reviews. So, Veronika, I'll let you kind of take the floor from here. Feel free to introduce yourself, and then we can dive right in.
Sure, thanks. I'm really excited to be here. My name is Veronika. I'm a customer success manager at AppFollow. I've been with the company for about 2 years now, and we've observed a huge transformation, and we've participated in this transformation, moving from manual replies to reviews, to automation, to AI. So I'm happy to tell you a little bit more about this and about the best practices that we've seen with our clients, and by doing analytics and reporting in different industries on mobile apps. So I'm here for that today.
All right.
I will share my screen, and I will go through a presentation. There are a couple of points that I want to show you, but I encourage you to ask any questions that you have. We can make it a bit more interactive, or also, if you prefer, we can handle the questions after we go through the slides.
Yeah, I'd say whatever you prefer. Given our group here today, I think it'd be very helpful if we can just kind of keep it interactive. And, if anyone has questions throughout the presentation, feel free to use the, emoji feature, throw it in the chat, or if we have a pause, feel free to, unmute and ask Veronika.
Absolutely. So yeah, any questions or comments are welcome. The topic here today is maximizing your ratings and reviews. And by maximizing, what do we mean? We mean that we're going to talk about methods for encouraging ratings and reviews. So as Nick mentioned, your guys exchanging reviews with each other, but there are other methods to gather new reviews and ratings. We're going to talk about them. We are going to touch upon the methodologies to revitalize review acquisition for apps with a significant user base, and also apps that have been on the market for a long time. And finally, we're going to talk about general best practices for managing reviews. You can see it's a hyperlink, so if ever you need this presentation at the end of our meeting, this hyperlink will lead you to AppFollow's Academy, where you can actually see some articles with some more detailed tips. But we're going to focus on this last point, number 3, a lot. So I doubt that you have questions at the end. Starting just even before we start talking about the methods of gathering ratings and reviews, why do we even want to talk about it? Why ratings matter? Why reviews matter? Usually we are moving from simply talking about ratings and reviews at AppFollow to talking about the app reputation, and it's a combination of different factors. Of course, app ratings and reviews, because this is the face of your application, so what users and potential users see. Then another important piece of that app reputation is the customer support community engagement. So not only engaging with the reviews, but how you interact with your users outside of that. Do you have a dedicated support team? How fast is it? How efficient is it? Do you have any other community engagement, any engagement with your audience? This is also an important piece of the reputation. Then there's ASO performance, so how well optimized your application is in terms of metadata, in terms of screenshots, in terms of everything that is also a visual face and a textual face of your application. And finally, the app performance, security, and privacy. This is something that actually gives you high scores, gives you good ratings if the app is performing well, if there are no bugs, no security concerns. Basically, you don't need to be to launch a lot of tricks to get good ratings on the stores. Why is it important to talk about it? First of all, to improve the visibility of your application, you have good ASO, your app is easily searchable in the stores. You have good ratings, more people will be willing to download the application to subscribe to it. And of course, having good ratings, having well-optimized SEO increases your chances to get featured. And this is all kind of becomes a circle where all these factors combine and they help you improve all of these four components.
Veronika, can I ask you a question really quick?
Sure.
So, how many reviews before you see a boost in your app's activity? Because I think I've got several reviews now that I simply can't find, or maybe they weren't submitted. I'm just not really sure. And I don't have a rating at all when I go to my Google webpage.
Actually, is it Google Play or is it App Store?
Yeah, Google Play.
Google Play. There is a moderation time for the reviews, so there is a chance you can see them in the console, for example, but they're not available on the public page because Google is moderating them. If that's not the case, there's also a chance they were deleted by Google. It does it sometimes if they were considered fake or maybe offensive, spam, etc. Otherwise, I believe it starts from really the first couple of ratings less than 100, less than 50, it should start counting it, but there might be a delay.
Okay, cool. Yeah, 100 seems to be the goal right now. 100 downloads, 100 reviews. I'm gonna try to get there as quick as I can. Thank you.
Got it. I'll double check on that if we have any examples of the apps with a really small number of reviews or ratings, maybe less than 10, and if we can see the rating there. But as far as I know, it should be visible from the first couple of ratings, but it might take time to process them. When it comes to increasing that number, what should we do? So methods for encouraging ratings and reviews. Here we're talking about the situation where you already got some first downloads, some first users, and you want them to rate your application. You want, most of all, you want a good rating also. You want a comment when you're just launching the application. So first of all, you need to think about the right time to request the rating. It can be done in-app, and then to target the most engaged user. So at the beginning, of course, when somebody downloads your app, they perform some actions in the application. They seem engaged, but you can measure it on a longer period of time if it's possible. And then ask them at the right time when you know it is a successful event in the application. So you know something has probably a wow effect. If it's a game, they're successful in a game, they get a prize within the game, or something positive happens, you encourage people to leave a rating at that moment. So these right times, and we'll see that for the apps that have been on the market for a long time, there's no single formula for that. It's always A/B testing, but it has to be something positive. It has to be after some psychologically reinforcing events, some successful activities in the applications. Again, targeting engaged users, it's a bit hard to judge when the application has just been launched, who is engaged, who is not engaged. But people who started using your applications, they have been active throughout the first day, for example, the first couple of days. If they continuously logged in, you can definitely prompt them an in-app rating request. Then if we're talking about the users who have been using your application a little bit more, but still haven't left any ratings or reviews, you can offer some incentives or use notifications to also prompt them to leave a rating. But those incentives should, of course, be not related to money. They can be some special prizes if it's a game application. They can be a feature unlocked for this user earlier than everybody else, so that just the stores don't consider your activity as suspicious. Then some other points, engaging with early adopters. So those early adopters, again, you see who is using your application, you see they're leaving feedback somewhere. And if they're leaving feedback, especially if this feedback is positive or if the reviews are long, it's great if you could engage them even more than those reviews that you can read. Maybe you can invite them to chat and shoot you a message to your email, to follow some link and fill in a survey with more feedback. So you should somehow show them how precious and valuable they are for you, because they're early adopters, and potentially they are with your applications to provide you more feedback, to get some bonuses, to get early access to everything. As long as they like the application and as long as they like their this process, this can be a very loyal client base, user base. And then the final point, simplify the process. I think it is relevant to any activity in the app. Make sure that requesting feedback, requesting rating, to rate your application, requesting to leave a review is as simple as possible. There's just one click that leads to the store. There is a very simple message motivating people to leave the feedback. It's not a long process. It's not tricky. As short as possible. Then responding to reviews and leveraging social proof. Responding to reviews, we are going to focus and talk about that a lot, but it is an absolute necessity when you've just launched the application to respond to all the reviews that you get. Of course, if from the day one your application has scored several 100,000 reviews, which is not very likely without a brand that is known worldwide, you should be trying to respond to everything. To show early adopters that you value them, but also to show other potential customers that there is a dialogue between the app developers, between the audience, and they can trust you for this process. They can also leave some comments. And then, of course, the positive comments that you receive, the positive reviews that you receive, make sure you promote them. Make sure you show the voice of the customer that somebody likes your application. It is for a reason. This is what people say. So this social proof, every industry uses it in different ways, in different contexts. We use it as case studies. Other services use it also as quotes of the customers. Sometimes it can even be a screenshot of the review if you can publish it fully, or just a quote would be great as well to help you promote your application. So I can see a comment: visible ratings on Apple, I believe, is just 5 to become visible. That's true. And then for Google Play, I'll have to double check, but I believe it was a very similar number.
Hey, Veronika.
Yeah.
You can hear me? Just with point number 3, offering incentives. I believe that's banned for Apple. At least like a direct prize reward for offering a rating, I think is not allowed for Apple.
I believe so. Probably that's a really, oh, sorry, I'm freezing. Am I? Yeah. I'll just deactivate my camera for a second because I believe the connection is unstable. So that's a great comment, and I think the developers should be very careful about this. But as long as there is something motivating the user to leave a review, or sometimes offer incentives to update the comments. No, sorry, you're actually right. Probably formulating it a bit different, motivate your users to leave comments. It can be a motivation to get early access to updated features based on their feedback or something like this, to be the ones influencing the application. But it is true that directly promising bonuses is something that can be seen as a suspicious activity by the store. speaking about the methods for the new applications, for the applications that have been on the market for a while, if we compare them, it's really very, very, very similar. Because the processes is always the same. You have in-app requests, you have some notifications, or potentially email campaigns that you can use to ask users to leave their opinion. However, if your application has been in the market for a while, there's a large user base, but you don't have that many ratings or reviews, or probably you have updated the application a lot, but you haven't seen the change in the ratings or the change in the reviews, you should try to re-engage the inactive users. So definitely you can somehow use the segmentation and try to use personalized campaigns to these inactive users, sharing with them what has changed in your application lately, highlighting these new features and requesting the feedback, leveraging engaged users. It's always a segment that is the most loyal to you that you can communicate with. Optimizing the review request prompts, again, it's the point number one from the previous slide. It's find a good time, and find a good time is never just one solution. So you'll have to here test a little bit more, because if the app has been there for a while, you know your successful activities in the app, after which users are likely to be satisfied and give you a high score. But you'll have to use different timing, you'll have to target different audiences. Finally, rewarding long-term users, offering some, from a marketing standpoint, or offering some exclusive deals, offering potentially discounts, celebrating the milestones, sharing with them how much they have been using the app, asking them to leave their feedback as valued, trusted users is a great idea. And then, as always, utilizing this social proof, trying to put together a blog post, put together a campaign, highlighting what people like in your applications, probably finding some funny quotes from the people who have been using the application, or maybe if there is slang used for your application, highlighting this in the reviews can be something that helps your community grow. But these 2 points are a bit more of a theoretical preparation. All you need to do, basically, you need to get users to rate your app. But what do you do with these ratings? What do you do with these reviews? This is a very important part of the process. Once you start getting your first reviews, once you start engaging with them, it is really important to choose a strategy that will work well for you. And spoiler alert, something that you probably already know very well, that it's also the A/B testing part. There are some strategies that work really well and some guidelines that we will talk about, but there is, again, no single wording that will allow you to turn a negative review into a positive one. So this is a field for experimentation. 2 quick things. The general practices for managing reviews. There are different segments of reviews, different topics that people are going to mention. But if we simplify it, really, there's positive reviews, 5-4 stars, some positive comments. And there are negative reviews when people are complaining, where they're not happy, when they're also giving you 1, 2, 3 stars, and sharing some negativities. So with these 2 categories, what do we do? Maintaining positive app reputation. So do respond to positive feedback. It is important to acknowledge that not only you're trying to fix the problems and solve the issues that users are mentioning, but also you value positive comments. You acknowledge that you received those and you're a happy developer. Make sure you do consistent quality app updates, something that goes without saying. Make sure your application works well and the users are satisfied with the quality. Prompt support is really important. I believe we do have a benchmark report associated with this meeting benchmark by industry, gaming, shopping apps, etc. And by analyzing the applications, by analyzing the speed of the response, we've came to the conclusion that the teams that respond in less than 24 hours to a review, they get a higher percentage of conversion of negative reviews into positive ones. Of course, this is not the only solution. If you respond, we will think about it, we will try to fix something, and you never do, this will not convert 1 star into 5 stars. But if you do have a solution, if you can commit to something, if you know what to say to the user, the faster you respond, the higher are the chances that a 1 star will eventually be a 2, 3, 4, or 5 star review after you get back to the user. Then community engagement, responding outside of the reviews as well, maintaining some communication with the customers, monitoring, responding to reviews, absolutely. And then user feedback integration, it is closely linked with the point number 1. As long as you listen to the feedback and actually integrate it in the applications, especially when it comes to fixing issues and informing the users about this, it goes a long way, and it can turn positivity into negativity. For the negative, again, responding promptly is the number 1 recommendation that we can give. Make your own mistakes, own your mistakes and offer solutions. Acknowledge if something doesn't work, apologize for it. Again, only if you know it doesn't work. Make sure you adopt a tone that works well with your team. If your team is really open, it's really friendly, just acknowledging and saying, we're so sorry, we're really sorry, is not a good idea. Make sure the tone is right for you. Follow up is an important point. If you fix something, if you've implemented something that the users ask about, make sure to spend some time on getting back to them and informing them about it. Maybe they've stopped using your application. Maybe they haven't stopped, but they didn't see the update. You will let them know. And again, you will remind them to potentially increase the rating of the review that they left, if it was a negative one. And then encourage revised reviews. Do let them know that it is important for you that you update your review if you have more comments after a product updates has been made. And learning from feedback, it's pretty much the same as user feedback integration. You not only respond, but you actually integrate the feedback in your development plans. And we call it the feedback loop. How you work with the reviews. Responding to the reviews is a big part, is also the face of your application and the company. Everybody sees your responses in the store. However, how you collect and analyze the feedback is really important. Make sure you have some tagging system, some categorization by topics, how you share that feedback with your other team members who are working on the updates, who are working on the technical part of the tool, maybe marketing if there are negative comments in social media. Make sure the resolution comes as soon as possible. After, get back to the reviews, update the users, and of course, we're back to the reviews, that hopefully after these updates, there will be a new wave of comments from happy users who are happy to see your updates. In these white points, in this points, reviews, reply, etc., we mentioned some AppFollow functionalities, but even if we're not limiting ourselves to AppFollow as a tool to work with the reviews, basically all these points, they can be done even from the console. Some advanced ones can be like AI automation, but the idea to update the users, you have the reviews that you can store even in a Google Sheet or somewhere. You have the tagging system. It can be any categorization that you use, but it is important to have it. And I wanted to ask about this, about the collection of the feedback among the participants. How do you currently work with the feedback in terms of categorization? Do you have some internal systems that you use? Do you export the reviews? What do you use?
I actually don't have an internal system for tracking him right now, but that is a very good suggestion. And also, especially using the social proof and making the customers feel like they're a part of the journey, and explain to them that it's just it's just you're just starting out. I really appreciate your feedback. Thank you for being a part of making this a success, and then update them once you've actually done the work, once you've actually made the adjustment.
This is great. Great to know.
I mean, it's similar. I mean, I only have paid apps, paid kid apps, so I get, hundreds of reviews a day. I maybe get a handful, maybe probably about a review a day on average. So I can easily just, on my phone quickly type in a review. I mean, I like to use the automatic reviews or just like copy paste something standard for reviews where you don't really need to give a specific answer. Or the bug reports, I then usually write a personalized message. But yeah, I don't really have any kind of system as such, just some little short. That's about it.
Veronika, do you have one that you would recommend, especially for like a smaller app that's anticipating needing more and more reviews and things like that, or needing to?
Of course, since I come from AppFollow, I would definitely recommend AppFollow. We have different packages, different versions. We also have a free one if you just need to monitor the feedback that comes to the application, just see what ratings you have. So as shared in the chat, feel free to follow, to register at AppFollow, check out the functionality, see if it's useful for you or not. And something that you can do, again, even in the free version of the tool, you can implement the tagging. In the free version, it's manual tagging, I believe. I think as you start collecting more and more feedback, it becomes really important for you to track which topics are the most popular, which topics are mentioned most of the time. So you will break down the feedback, into very simple categories at first: bugs, positive feedback, negative feedback, maybe feature requests or something like this. But then as it gets wider, as you receive more comments, there might be something very specific. And in order for you to find it quickly, these tags are very helpful. Again, if you're not using AppFollow, if you are just I don't know, using export to Google Sheets and then tracking everything there, just make sure you have some categorization, even in these simple topics, because this way you will also prioritize the changes and you will know to whom you got back and to whom you haven't.
Yeah, I think it's important to bring up too that this is an entire job. This would be an entire full-time job for somebody if your app was to become popular overnight. And so I'm having to learn ads, how to make content, work full-time. Like it's very important that I not neglect that. So a service like AppFollows would basically perform that role, that function for me. I think that would be a really good thing to look into, actually.
That's true. We are moving towards the methodologies of how to respond to reviews based on the type of the reviews. So it's true that in some cases, a tool like AppFollow can kind of replace or partially replace a support person or a support team, depending on the app size and company size. But sometimes, and we'll see which cases are the exceptions, you will still have to have a real person responding to those reviews and tackling those. So the main methodologies we have and that are available in other places as well: manual replies. Manual replies you can do everywhere. You can do it from the console directly. You can do it in some other services where you can integrate your consoles and the service itself. Then bulk replies. I'm not sure if all the services have it, but AppFollow definitely does. It's something that allows you to check the box next to similar reviews, maybe next to 5-star reviews, and respond to all of them simultaneously. Then automation, it's something that allows you to set up some rules and respond to the reviews based on those rules. There can be some keywords mentioning problems or requests or something similar. And then finally, AI replies, either manual AI replies or completely automated. We'll get to that. It's not really about the technology when you choose which option to use, but it's really the conceptual difference between the types of the reviews that should definitely be covered manually, and then the ones that can be covered by automation or by AI responses. So for manual responses, first of all, if your app is new, if you haven't scored 1,000 reviews overnight or several thousand reviews overnight, it's best to try to read the reviews, respond to them in a personalized manner. And like Peter mentioned, when there are bugs and there are complaints, it's best to make sure you do provide a personalized reply, especially if this is a new application. Complex issues, so some topics that might be mixed, they mention several problems or several aspects of your application. It's best to also address all of them to, again, for the customer, for the person who left the review, to understand that there's a real person, they're really caring about the feedback, and they are trying to address it and not just send, thank you, great feedback. Then sensitive topics. I'm not sure about all of your applications, but hopefully it will not be the case, but sometimes there is a feature that goes viral and there are stupid TikToks about it. Sometimes there is a political event that happens and your app, maybe it's not connected, but people are writing about it. Sometimes just people leaving offensive reviews or mixed feedback. It's best to address this manually, and not only address, it's best to report such reviews. So if the review can potentially be deleted by the store, don't forget about that option. You can report it to the store. If it is offensive, if it's spam, if it's really talking about the event that has nothing to do with your application, discussing the political situation, discussing some philosophical nice questions, but they're not related to your app, you can report them. The rate of Google Play or App Store, the rate of deletion is the highest for spam. So if it's not related to your application, it's perfect. There are high chances it will be deleted. If it is about your app, but it contains some offensive language, it's 50-50, I would say, a chance. Negative reviews, again, if it's an app that is at the beginning of the journey, it's best to address all the negative yourself. And then crisis management, if there's something massive that is happening, even if there are a lot of reviews, if you have at least a tiny chance to cover them manually, or at least to read through them before sending templates or modified templates, it's best to do it yourself without the automation. Does service include Android apps? A question in the chat, it does. So the service itself, it allows you to track and also engage with, respond to reviews from Google Play, from App Store, from Mac application, from Amazon to some extent, Microsoft Store, Huawei, I believe. And I think that's pretty much it. And we're also open to other sources of feedback because we are looking to expand the support at the moment.
Now, is there a daily or a weekly or something update that y'all send out? Say like the CEO has a dashboard and they check all their stuff. Do y'all have an update that y'all send out with recommendations?
Absolutely. I can actually show you something. This is the kind of interface you'll have where you have all of your reviews and the applications that are supported. So these are some demo applications I pretend I'm managing. And then in terms of the alerts and reports, you can decide yourself what kind of notification and what kind of reports you want to be sent out. So you can have all kinds of alerts, immediate if it's something really important, like the total rating change, or you can send even the reviews or review summaries to your email or to your Slack if you're using it. It can be that kind of a report that is sent out outside of AppFollow, but inside AppFollow, it can, of course, be just a dashboard where you see all the ratings, a dashboard that shows you a breakdown of your reviews into a breakdown by stars, for example, and then you also have a breakdown into tags, the ones that I mentioned at the beginning. You can have it in a manual way. You can assign those tags in a manual way, but of course you can also assign them in an automated way. And we're moving towards that topic, almost finishing the reviews management part. So here is where you can respond to reviews manually from all the stores that you have. You just select the application, you see the review details, you respond to it real quick. Another part that I mentioned is the bulk reviews. So again, conceptually, these are very similar. These are 5 stars. I can just bulk reply to them. And then the third big category of the reviews that I want to respond to manually. And the positive feedback is one of the great examples of such. I don't want to, if I have a lot of reviews and I start receiving a lot of reviews, I don't want to respond to all the thank you messages myself. I can just create an automation rule, all the positive replies. That's good enough, but also I can mark some keywords. Thank you, amazing, brilliant, nice. And I will be sending template for that. You can see that I can add competitors. What functions are competitors able to perform? So your competitors, or what you can do to competitors, as you can see a report showing their metrics that are available publicly without an integration with console. For example, for Netflix, I'm not from Netflix, but I can see their average rating is this, their total amount of reviews is this, and apologies, I just have a lot of competitors, so it's loading a little slowly. Basically, yeah, you can see their metrics. You can see how many reviews they have, to how many reviews they responded. Are these positive reviews or negative reviews? So you can see more or less their strategy and the numbers. You can respond to their reviews, of course, because you're not the owner of it.
Veronika, this is Alexandra. I asked that question, and I was just trying to go through your AppFollow sign up, and it's actually asking me if I want to add some other apps as my app.
Oh, that's also an option.
Well, then how do you verify that it is my app and I'm allowed to respond or do anything with these apps?
You can, when we write and when we suggest to add something as your app, it basically means it will appear here in the main My Apps panel. You will see all the apps listed there, and you will see in the reviews feed the list of reviews that were received. It means it's my app. I want to see in the detail what kind of reviews they have. However, if I don't have an integration with the console and I can't install an integration here, if I don't have access to console, if I can't invite AppFollow, or if I can't generate an API key for integration, I won't be able to perform any action. So I see the information that's publicly available, like all the reviews. We get them from the public page in the store, but we can't do anything with them, report, respond, as long as there's no integration.
Okay, so it's that link.
Yeah.
Okay. Veronika, I just wanted to ask one question. Before, you had some reviews that were in another language. I think there was something in Spanish before. Is there some auto-translate function so that you can immediately read them in English?
Yeah, absolutely. You can translate to the language that you understand or your team supports. it will be automatically done, and then there will be a button to show you the original. So if for some reason you want to compare the original with the translation, you can also do that.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Just before the keyword, I know we have taken a lot of time. I wanted to talk and show really quickly the automation bit. So I'll get to the question about the keywords in a second. Bulk replies and automation. So when do we use it? We use it for common topics, for very similar topics, especially for positive feedback acknowledgement, for follow-ups after, again, you've made an update. This is where you can leverage either automation or bulk actions. And then the final part, AI replies, the newest trend in the market. When is it good to use it, and how does it look within the system? You have just yourself, or you have one person managing the reviews, or all people that are English speaking. You don't have the support of all the languages, but you want to respond in the native language. It's possible via AI. You have a lack of resources to create the automation rules and to think them through to create a strategy for that. AI is also a solution because it adapts automatically the answer to the review itself. And then teams that are looking to scale, or applications that are looking to scale, you want to support more reviews. Maybe your application becomes more popular. You don't have the time to respond to everything manually or in bulk. What you can do is you can respond using AI. Here, what I'm showing on my screen is an example of a manual AI reply. So it's pretty much you just press one button. It generates a response for you. And this response is adapted to the original message. Now, of course, it's not that simple. Sometimes AI provides a message that is not your company, not your application communication style. You want it to be shorter. You want it to have greetings or something else. There are some options to update this. There's an option to add greeting. There's an option to improve, which means just update the wording a little bit and keep the initial message. You can do this. So just one by one, use a free copywriter by generating an AI response. But what's important is, especially when you're scaling, you can also use the AI automation. So here we are responding to all the 5-star reviews with some kind of a template. You don't have to use a template. You can use an AI generated answer, and it will, for all the topics like this, generate an answer for you. You are able, and it's even recommended at the beginning when you're just starting to work with AI, to keep an eye on this. First, to review the answers before posting them. But once you're sure the initial quality check has been passed, you can just put an auto posting mode and respond to all the thank you messages automatically with AI. I would say a big advantage here is that it's not going to be a template answer, not the same template every time. Every time it's adopted. Every time also you can set some custom instructions by saying, please always use this name of the application, maybe some shortened name, slang name. Please always address to people saying hi instead of hello, or some instructions like this is something that you can use when responding with AI. But again, this is something that is recommended to use either when you have a lot of reviews incoming and you want some variations to your responses, not just a template. It's possible to do so. And it's also, again, possible to respond to the reviews in the original language of the review using AI. I hope that makes sense. Let me know if there are some questions. If not, we'll go back to that keyword question.
That's incredible being able to customize AI. Like this platform does even more than I originally thought it did. Insane.
It is pretty insane, I would say. It's nothing new functionality for us. We've launched it several months ago, but it's still surprising me. So we are linking here two topics, the keywords related to automation, not the keywords for ASO, we'll get there also, and the AI as well. So when you are deciding, if you decide to launch the automation, when you are deciding how to respond to reviews, and you decided to respond to 5-star reviews automatically, maybe you don't want to respond to the reviews containing some words, some negative words, bugs, problems, etc. What you can do, you can list whatever comes to your mind, which is a bit difficult because it has to be a long list. For this kind of keywords, we don't have a special search. We have an alternative. It's called semantic tag. Sorry. And the semantic tag is also something based on the machine learning. So AppFollow scans the reviews and automatically assigns some tag based on its content. If we have some keywords related to account issues, it will be a tag account issues. If it's a different bug, it will be a different bug tag. If it's a thank you message, it will be thank you. So this way, you don't have to do a lot of keyword research to make these rules. For automation, you can simply just use the semantic tags, or if you have launched a feature, I don't know, some green page, and you want to learn specifically about this, then of course you can use this condition related to text, and you'll just be typing word green, everything turns green, etc. So there are two options. One is really reading through the reviews, having some keywords from them. It's still a bit of a manual process there, but there is an alternative to use semantic tags that are already made, not based on keywords, but rather based on the general meaning of the comment through selected through machine learning. Kate, was your question about the keyword for ASO or the keyword for the automation here?
I was just typing you in the chat, actually. You know what? I was actually looking at the keywords optimization on the other section is what I'm looking at. I've been kind of dabbling around on the website. It's so fun. And thank you for the free month, by the way. It's wonderful to try it out. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out how that keyword process works. So if you don't mind kind of going over that and how to start generating keywords, that would be great.
Absolutely. So at the beginning, when you just select your application, there are already some suggestions, recommended keywords. So what we want to do, really, we recommend you to start here. When you go to the keywords tracking, you go select your application, my track keywords. At the moment, we don't have any for this app. And then you go to the recommended ones. You add some of them or all of them, but it's best to really select as many as you can. Sorry, I guess I'll have to refresh for them to appear. If you didn't have any previous selection, let's say, based on your descriptions, based on your app titles, and then you analyze these keywords, you see which ones are relevant, which ones are not. For example, for Netflix, there's, of course, the Netflix brand keyword. It's marked as branded for this app as well. And then there are some parameters that you analyze, and then you decide, is it relevant for you, is it not relevant for you? So there's a parameter called popularity, how often people find your application using this keyword, how often they type it in the search bar. There's difficulty, how difficult it is to rank for any application for this keyword. Then there's effectiveness. It's a balance between the two, between popularity and difficulty. And then there's the rank. So we recommend to use first keyword ranking. You go to this page, you add all the recommended keywords as a starting point, and then you track everything that's high enough in the rank from 1 to 10, for example. Make sure you track it, make sure you track its metrics. Does it make sense for you to add it in your description? Sorry, not description, but the title, subtitle. You can decide based on that. But the rank is, I would say, the #1 parameter for it, and also the effectiveness. So some keywords that are marked as branded for other applications, we won't recommend to use them. But everything that's not branded and everything that is high rank for you or high effectiveness, it can be used potentially.
Okay. Thank you.
Fantastic.
I have one more. Oh, sorry. I have
go
one more
ahead.
question, if you don't mind. I don't
Go
want to
ahead.
be the last. I have another question about when you're trying to schedule the competitor ratings, you know, where you can pick a competitor. If you could just show how to read that better, that would be great. Thank you.
Absolutely. And again, apologies for this loading. I have added the applications that have a lot of reviews, like Netflix on Google Play and App Store. So it's taking a while. So you've added a bunch of competitors to your AppFollow account. You go to this page called Custom Reporting. You compare your app with other applications that you want to see, the competitors. You see the general review, the rating of the application. And by the way, here you select the time frames you're interested in. And then there's quite a long list of parameters. I would recommend as a starter to look at all of them, and then you decide which parameters are the most relevant for you. So there's average rating of the application, the global rating. There is the amount of new ratings received during this period, the average new rating just for this period, the total amount of reviews the application has received, average review rating, new reviews received for this period. So all related to ratings and reviews. If you scroll a little bit to the right, there will be metrics more related to reviews management. Sentiment score is high. 100% sentiment score means all the reviews are positive. It's thank you messages everywhere. The lower the score, the more negative the reviews are. You see the percent of updated, and I guess I'll just share the list of parameters afterwards, how active people are in terms of updating reviews, how often this team responds to the reviews. Do they cover 100%? Do they not? Do they respond to all the featured reviews? So this right part of this allows you to see how your competitors basically are behaving in terms of managing their reviews.
Perfect.
And then these are the metrics we've just discussed, like ratings, but shown in a different visual format. You choose the country where your app is available, and you see how it ranks in this country by rating or by the review rating.
Veronika, is it possible to filter by most common keyword and a negative review for a competitor?
Not for a competitor, but what you can do, you can add it as my app. So a reminder, we're not integrating, we're not trying to respond to the reviews. You just add it as yours. You go to the reviews feed, and there's a really great function called AI summary. So it's not really a list of keywords, but it's a summary of the reviews that they got. And again, I'm trying to process 6,000 of reviews in a blink of an eye. It's taking a few seconds, but it's going to show you what people are writing about your competitors. So here, this is what Netflix users have been writing in the past 7 days. And if you're specifically interested in the keywords rather than the content of the reviews, maybe for some analysis, you can also use the feature phrase analysis and select it there.
Great. I mean, that sounds like a good, word cloud for marketing. If you're